Oh, sorry, we have to do all that again. I don't know if you've picked up on this. We're not like super professional podcasters here. It's very weird that we're getting paid to do this, but
I love that.
All right, are there any other questions?
Ready to make some mistakes.
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Let's make mistakes at full speed.
You're supposed to do a vocal warm-up. So first, let's center yourself the best you can. We're going to take 2 deep breaths, square breaths to ground. Here we go. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Blow through your lips. The mechanical reason by blowing through your lips is you cannot be tense and make that sound.
If you could just be available for us for 5 minutes before every recording, I think that would be very helpful.
For you.
Warm up with us.
Okay, now I think we can do this again. Welcome back to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we celebrate the people and the moments that make community magic happen.
Welcome to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we share stories and strategies to turn any event or life moment into something unforgettable.
Events are wild, and the people who work in them are some of the most resilient humans on Earth. If you know, you know.
So come with us behind the curtain for a look at their most memorable experiences.
As they say, the show must go on, so let's get on with the show.
Today, we are diving into a decade of impact, rhythm, and resilience with the Residency, a Seattle-based program that's been transforming young lives through music for 10 years. That's right, a full decade. Joining us today is Olisa Enrico, Executive Director of the Residency. Olisa is a multidisciplinary artist, educator, and cultural leader dedicated to community empowerment through hip hop, ritual theater, and social justice. As executive director, she's carrying forward a decade-long legacy of uplifting young artists with the tools to thrive creatively and professionally. Her work lives at the intersection of art, culture, and justice, building spaces where equity, creativity, and belonging lead the way. Welcome to the show. And you are not here by yourself. Libby, would you like to introduce our youth guest today?
Absolutely. Most important job of the episode. Joining us are 2 amazing voices from the Residency community, Maia Gaiia and Sonatta, both young artists who found their rhythm and their voice through this incredible program. Welcome.
Thank you.
This is going to be so exciting. We're going to hear how the Residency grew from a small summer hip hop program way back in the day into a citywide movement that empowers hundreds of young artists and proving that when art meets access, community thrives. I am ready to get into it. So, Olisa, how long, you're newer to the Residency, new-ish to the Residency?
Ish not. So I actually have been with the Residency as a teaching artist since the very first year. I came in as a special guest with a focus on stage presence. I did a workshop, a masterclass. And then I came the next year as a teaching artist, vocal track, and stayed as a teaching artist through 2021 during the COVID online years. I went off and did some admin, growth, life, and then the call came for a new executive director. And I read the job description and felt like I was being called back. So I put my hat in the ring and there you go. Here I am again.
Here you are.
Full circle.
I love that. How can you give us a little synopsis of how the program has evolved since the early days into the powerhouse that it is today?
Yes, indeed. So it started as a 2-week intensive with a small cohort, 2 teaching artists, and a partnership between MoPOP, Arts Corps, and back then it was Macklemore and Ryan Lewis was the call. And together, this dream of what did I want when I was young, coming up as an MC, coming up as an artist, what would have been so dope to have, manifested itself. And it was so amazing. They did their final performance at MoPOP that they were like, okay, let's do it again. Let's expand it. And we moved to 4 weeks, went to 45 artists from a small cohort of 10, and Rock Like That as a summer program under Arts Corps as a fiscal sponsor. Time moved and we grew and we began to do year-round happenings, parties, gatherings, shows to feature our young artists at the different spaces of their growth. And throughout the year, we called them satellite shows back then. And in 2020, this was all happening late 2019, but right at the hit of COVID, 2020 is like a Q year, you're like, oh,
we all just kind of flinched. We all just kind of like, oh.
But that's when we actually became our own 501c3. It was in 2020 and really focused on building the year-round programming. And that was happening just as COVID hit. So we moved online like everyone did. And we made sure that our young folks, our artists, our community, our teaching artists had a way to gather. We quickly moved to Zoom. We had online like freestyle sessions and beat listening parties and online classes. We moved back to in-person 22, 23. And then here we are now on the precipice of searching for our own home, having full year-round programming that's intense with our largest staff of 5 full-time folks. All new this year. It's a lot. We're building so beautifully and seeking synergy in the work and realigning our mission and vision and values to make sure that we're repping hip-hop and repping the young artists the best way possible that we can.
That's it. That's all. That's all you got.
That's all. Just
changing lives, changing the world.
No big
That's
deal.
the goal. That's the goal.
How many youth are in Maia Gaiia and Sonatta? I do have specific questions for you, but Olisa, how many youth does the residency serve in a year? I mean, I'm sure it can change depending on, programs and where kids are at with their lives but how many?
I would say depending on how you count it. So I'm not unduplicating right now, right, in my head. But through our programs, anywhere between 300 to 400, between our performance opportunity program, between our workshops, between summer intensive, youth leadership council, and all of the other things that we do. And of course, that's not like, if Maia comes to this and then comes to that, I'm not unduplicating that. That's just a larger number. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Do you have the ballpark number of how many students have been through the program in the full 10 years?
Yeah. So you're talking about almost 500.
That's incredible.
I would say between 400 and 500. And that would be really close to unduplicated. We have some folks like Maia, I think this is your second year or third year?
My third year, yeah.
Yeah, third year this year. So we have folks who do come back multiple times to Summer Intensive. And Summer Intensive is like our gateway into the program. You come in and then from that, you gain access to all the other work that we do.
All right, Maia Gaiia and Sonatta, I would love to hear from each of you. When did the residency, when did you become aware of it? And then when did you know that you wanted to be a part of it?
I became aware of the residency. So I had a friend who did it in 2022 and I went to his showcase and it was funny because one of my classmates also did the residency. I had no idea he actually produced my first single after 2022. So 2023 was the first year I joined. But I was aware of the residency since 2022. And then, every summer I just kept coming back. I want to say it was really after, it's like the first summer I joined and I was like, oh, wait, I like music. I can do this. And it's actually a funny story. So I think I'll tell it.
Yes, please.
But I have a younger brother. He is 16, he's turning 17. he does music. He's a writer. He's like really freestyler, really good at just language and words. And because my friend did the program that first in 2022, 2023, I was like, okay, let me bring my brother to audition for this amazing like opportunity and music program. I had already been doing nonprofit work with other nonprofits for women, like Young Women Empowerment or Powerful Voices, those center young Black and brown women. And I was like, that was my space. You know, I didn't really think of me as like a musician, but I thought my brother as that. And so I just took him to this audition. And he goes, and then after his audition, he's like, yeah, my sister does music too. She's like, she's so fire. You know, I've been telling her she should audition. And at this point, I'd been like, I think it was my senior year of high school. I'd spent my junior year and my senior year just like hanging out with my cousin, and we would just like write together. I would go to her house after school and we would just like write, you know, that was just, and she would do my hair. That would be the vibe. But yeah, I was like, fine. I ended up auditioning like crazy song, raunchiness. Like I really didn't have an identity. It was really just me having fun. And so then, yeah, I did it. And then I've been a part of the community. And that's when I was like, wait, I'm good at this. It's not just like a talent. It's like, I think it's like knowing the business of things too. And like thinking and like marketing. And that was after the second year I realized like, oh wait, I can actually apply this to my life. And yeah, I've been doing it since. Doing the rest of it.
All thanks to that little brother hype man.
Yeah,
Yes.
literally.
Everybody needs a little brother hype man.
So I came to the residency. I first saw the 2023 showcase because a producer named Audif was in the 23, and he kind of brought me and some of his friends along to just kind of see what it was. And from there, I was just kind of like, okay, that's different. I've never recorded music before, like that kind of time. So I started getting into recording and like learning how to sing again, kind of with the residency in mind, because it was such a cool thing to really see from like the audience perspective. From like, I couldn't even imagine how it was on stage. And so from there, I kind of worked my way up to songwriting and getting pretty good at my craft and creating a little bit of an identity for myself. And then the 2024 year came around, and that's when a lot of the people in the residency figured out that I could play trumpet. And before I had done the intensive, I actually had the opportunity of performing with the residency. So it was one of those like rare scenarios where you were able to do that. And it was for the Ben Royal Hall show last year. I was the trumpet player in the house band. So that was a really crazy experience. And I just kind of kept contact with people, kept showing up, kept saying hi, showing my face at events, going to workshops. And then I was able to participate in the 25 intensive. And from there, now I'm able to release my first EP after writing like a crazy song. But that's all, that it really is a lot of it thanks to the residency. I mean, that program existing is what pushed me to get into creating music in that way. Because I didn't think myself like, oh, I could never record. That's like, great people do that. That's not me. But yeah, and then the Memorial Hall show, crazy experience. I still haven't processed it yet. So yeah, it was really through mutuals.
So Sonatta, I want to know, like, because I was there at Benaroya Hall, and I got to know, like, how did that feel to walk out on the stage at Benaroya? Like, the view from the stage facing out, and then not to mention being full of people. Like, how did that feel? It gives me the goosebumps just thinking about it.
It was, I guess it was the most surreal experience I've ever had stepping out onto a stage, because Benaroya Hall was like the palace of music for me. I had went to so many Seattle Symphony shows, and like getting out there, I thought I was going to be like nervous. I'm going to throw up on stage. I'm going to ruin the show. And I had that opening solo when we were doing the instrumental for All Right by Kendrick Lamar. And I'm just like, I'm going to bomb this solo so bad. But like getting out there and seeing all those people there to support you and then support everyone around you in that community, the feeling was like unlike anything I could ever really say, I guess, if that makes sense. But you just get like a rush of energy and just like joy entirely. And you're just like, okay, you know what? I can do this. Deep breath. And then we just go for it. But it was like literal chills getting out onto that stage.
I love that both of you, you know, that the residency really changed this idea that you had about your own relationship and ability when it comes to music and musicality and, you know, what you are really capable of in that realm. What else do you feel like the residency has developed or grown in you aside from those things, which are very important? But I feel like this program, you know, all of the programs associated with the residency really seem to develop other parts of the individual as well.
I mean, yeah, like this program, it's like there's so many parts of it that you can take away without even like realizing like, oh, I didn't know I was even going in here to like prepare myself for, you know, like how to have stage presence, or even like I mentioned earlier, like the business of music. I'm in school right now for fashion, and I've been just really with like between my music and fashion, it's like you really do kind of, you're able to see how certain things line up. And for me, it's just been like, you know, like marketing and the branding and the business. It's like there truly is, it's a duality when it comes to all things. And I think the residency has shown me there are so many ways to go about your music and your artistry. And even just like with like resource wise too, it's like you can either choose to garden those relationships and those connections and, you know, pay a producer to go, or you can invest in your own self. So they really do get like, you know, for studio equipment and things, like they really do give you a lot of resources and ideas even. And more specifically, like back to gardening those relationships. I do feel like the residency has like put so many important people in my life, from like Olisa to Liv and Jace to, you know, youth, like Sonatta, come on. And who else? Like Joa and Kenshi and all the people who I can't name right now. But yeah, like they place these people in our lives, and it's one of those things where it's like I didn't like meet these people for no reason, you know, like I need to be intentional and harness those relationships. And it's interesting and it's weird, like experiencing it, you know, it's like first you think it as a kid, like, I wonder how that person, like, you know, is everywhere and, you know, knows all these people. And then you're finally like in the position, it's like, wait, because I care about all these people, you know, and they're talking. So yeah, residency has offered a lot. And yeah, just clarity with the process.
I love that. What about you, Sonatta?
Definitely the business side of music. I think that's a side a lot of artists try to ignore because it's that daunting thing that we have to think about, because then you have taxes, write-offs, and all that stuff. And they really put it into a nutshell that's really easy to understand and also build upon. And then the other thing too is just the community that they teach you to get involved with. I was the most unsocial person for a very long time. I didn't know how to make friends. I didn't know how to talk to people. But going to residency events and being able to have that like-mindedness, or as I think it was Miss Elise, it was like rip your cool card and like throw it away. And I think that made people willing to actually engage with each other. And it teaches you to be one, social. It teaches you the importance of business, knowing your craft and using that craft to like the at most capability it can be. And then on top of that, family, the importance of family, knowing your connections, building your connections even outside of the residency, and keeping those and really using those to drive you forward in your artistry, your music, and you as a person, especially in this world where we have something called the Seattle freeze. And that really can make it hard to want to go out there and contact people and talk to people. But it really builds character as well. There's the intensive, it is called intensive for a reason. And there's a lot of character building that you have to go through if you want to create the best music for the showcase at the end of those 4 weeks.
Olisa, I just can't help but sit here and think like how cool your job is that you get a role with young adults like this.
Yeah, it, you know, my journey in youth development has been long, from when it was peer tutoring in high school to now. And the one thing I've always known from the time I was a young artist in the shoes without any support to now is that the youth are the truth. I am only here for so long. And if I am not connected to my elders and to those who are the next generation coming and looking 7 generations beyond, then I'm not doing my job as a human being on this planet. And if I can share what I know, then that makes me a complete human being. I've gained all of this information and knowledge through experience and training. And what is it if it just sits inside me? It's nothing, but supporting, Sonatta on maybe feeling more comfortable rapping or encouraging Maia to sing more or whatever it is to build who you are as a human being on this planet and show up how you want to show up, whether it's on stage, off stage, on a Zoom call, or just with your people, that you can believe in something and stand in something and you come with knowledge. It's a beautiful existence to both have a job and love your work. Not everybody has that privilege in life. So I feel blessed. I feel blessed every day.
I mean, that's part of the ethos of the name of this podcast. It beats working, right? Like, this beats working. Like, when you love what you do, it's not working. It's something else, but it's not working, even though I know that everybody on this call has an insanely, hard work ethic. That's obvious. That's obvious. This year's celebration marks a full decade of impact. Like, that's a lot of ripple effects that have been happening. What does this milestone mean for you and the team?
Oh, wow. 10 years. Looking back, I look at my daughter. She's about to be 10 years old, and I was pregnant with her when I came for the teach the master class in the very first year. And looking how much she's grown as a measuring stick to what it means to have a decade on this planet, a decade of impact, a decade of learning. And we have learned so much. And we are excited to look back, to move forward. There's this principle called Sankofa in the West African traditions, that you look back to know how to move forward. And to be here at this time together in such a monumentous time in history, in hip hop, in the city, everything that's going on, who controls the narrative controls the world. And our young folks have narratives to share, and I say that as far as like experience, but also looking forward to how the world should be, the imagination, the conceptualization of what we can be, of the possibilities of humanity, and to be able to do that through the genius of hip hop and community it's huge. It's beautiful to say, okay, this is where we are, this is where we've been, and this is where we're going. Let's go together in the best way that we can. So it's hard to measure what it means, but I'm ready to throw down on November 20th. Let me tell you that much. I'm excited for the lineup. I'm excited that we get to highlight teaching artists over the years, that we're going to have recent alumni and also folks from the first cohort all the way through. So we're going to have 10 years representing, and I am super excited about it.
How are you going to fit all that into one event? I just feel like that could be a weekend-long festival or something.
Oh, yeah. That would be so dope. But Jace is working on the lineup. So Jace,
no pressure, Jace. No pressure, Jace.
Yeah, Jace will have it flowing. And from the beginning to the end, we'll be collaborating. Because we know that it's through collaboration that the geniuses can be shared. It's also through collaboration of time that we can make it through everything in a short program. I think it's going to be like a 90 minutes to 2 hours. So it'll flow, it'll grow, it'll climax. We'll do everything we need to do. And we'll be so tired the next day when I send out my thank you emails and my, oh my God, posts. And we did that because I can feel it already. It's a lot of work and we love it. It's work we love.
You know, producing events like this takes creativity. It takes coordination. What have you learned along the way about blending artistry with the actual logistics? Like, this is the heart of the hustle, right?
Well, one of the biggest things that I'm learning is that our community, folks like you, Elise and Libby, the people who have been around and unseen, but who keep showing up and believe in the mission, that it's bigger than just the face. It's bigger than the people who work every day. There's a whole village of folks. They say it takes a village to raise a child, and it takes a community to build a residency. And I am reminded of that every time we meet, every time something's done, how folks show up. Like, it's not something you do alone.
Mm-hmm.
You're never alone in this. Not one person can claim that they did it. It's an us. And that is, I come from the theater world, and even a solo show, you're in collaboration in theater. And that is reinforced every event, every production, every performance, everything that we do is that it's a community of folks that we need to get things done. It's the biggest lesson, a reinforcement.
How do alumni and mentors and youth like Maia and like Sonatta, how do they play a role in not only shaping what's about to happen in November, but like what's about to happen in the next decade, right? You got a decade behind you. Like, you're just getting warmed up. Like, let's go. What does that look like?
So we have recently, actually, Maia was one of the first cohort of the Youth Leadership Council. Yeah. And I know we're just starting again with a new cohort. Maia, you're on that as well, right?
I am. I'm so grateful. Yeah. I meant to mention that in my journey. I'm also part of the technically first cohort, because at first it was a pilot. So now it's just like, we're doing it.
So having a small group of dedicated young artists who will be not only planning what used to be called our satellite shows. We're looking for a good name. If you have one, the word satellite don't sit with me too well, but right now they're planning the winter show and the spring show, and we're super excited to have that. And then they also are able to give their input as a cohort. We also hold community sessions where we invite all alumni to come. We had one last year, and give their input on what they want to see. Programs they want to see. We do at the beginning of each year. What do you want to sign up for? What do you need? And we build our programming around that. Also, they have put in and will continue to put in, as we're launching our capital campaign, to get a home for the residency, on what it should have, what it should look like, how it should feel. And so they've been a part of that conversation as well. And, we have an amazing program director, Jace, who also connects very much with the youth. That's his strong space, and knows everybody who's been through. He's been a teaching artist since the first year, just like me as well. And he is very good about collecting youth voice and input into all that we do. So I'm thankful for that as far as a team. And one thing we remind ourselves is that they are the mission. We are just the stewards. So if they don't have their voice in the circle, then we're missing it. I
think you're capturing it. I think also, like, the residency is truly setting us up. Like, again, even with fashion, like, as I'm learning about, like, the cycle of the world and, like, history and just the things we experience, we're in a very pivotal time right now. We're in a time where people are, we also have, like, virtual reality here, like, we're able to escape what's in real life and hop on the screen. And so if we are finding, like, comfort in that VR, then it is also helpful to have sounds and frequencies and music and communities that are enforcing like community and togetherness and good vibes. And I think the residency is really, like, setting us up with those resources. And like you said, like, setting the world up to hear our narratives. Like, I'm really excited. It's scary, but it's exciting,
Ashe. One other thing, we have our first youth board member that got brought on this year. Ivana Ivana Garza. She actually was in the very first year of the residency. She did several years. She started when she was 13, because back then we served 13 to 19. Our ages have shifted over the years. And she has joined us as our youth leadership coordinator and as our first youth representative on our board of directors. So we're super excited about that structural change to have youth represented on our board, have youth voice. So
what I think is one of the things that makes the residency so unique and just such a really incredible organization is that you are teaching young adults, you're teaching the community, but you're also, it's like a symbiotic system. Like, you're learning and you're telling the community, like, look what we can learn from these people. We shouldn't, you can't write somebody off because they're in a different generation than you and you think you know more than them. Like, we can really learn so much from everybody. And there aren't a lot of places where young adults and young people get the opportunity to share their voice and what is important to them. So all right, well, before we wrap up, where can people get tickets? How can they get involved? If they can't go to the event, but they still want to do something for the residency, what's there for them?
Okay. So our website, theresidencyseattle.org, ticket link right at the top. And we're also building a new website. It's going to be gorgeous. I'm so excited. That's going to be launched in a couple weeks. But you can go right there to the homepage to get tickets. We are almost sold out. We have a community ticket link that we still have tickets for. There's a code. It's a more affordable ticket. It's like $50 with all the fees and everything that come when you buy a concert ticket. There's a code. Community. That's the code. And then if you can't make it I know, complex. We're genius.
How long did it take for you guys to come up with that one? That's pretty good.
A good 10 seconds. A long time. And so the community code, get ticket there. I think we have a few extra general. If you can't get a ticket for some reason, you really want to be there, hit me up. My email's on the website. And we'll figure it out. We have a volunteer form. We do need volunteers for day of, so that's a great way to get into the show. We have a lot of volunteer slots available. And then if you can't come to the show, a great way is just send me your contact and I will just meet with you and talk and see how you want to fit into the community. And of course, we always take money. There's a donate button on our website because we live in this world.
Yeah. And the residency needs a home. So let's get a home.
Yes.
And Olisa, our Instagram too.
And Instagram, thank you. I gave you the link. I don't know. It's like the Residency Seattle, I think.
Oh yeah, I can find it. I'll link it in the show notes.
Yeah. I've got so many ats in my brain. So many links and so many ats. But another thing is just show up when you can, how you can, and who you are. You're welcome. Come as you are. Just always a reminder.
I love that. Show up as you are. Just come as you are. That's enough.
I think that's exactly it. Like, it's like not everybody has, deep pockets to make deep donations, but that doesn't mean you can't get involved. There are so many little places that you can slide into to get involved and make a difference. And like, after listening to these two lovely young ladies today, like, how do you not want to support this organization? Like, I'm just so astounded at some of the wisdom that you're dropping on the things that you're learning that are like real life skills that are going to take you to where you're going to end up being in your lives professionally and personally. I just think it's so, so very cool.
Thank you so much for having us.
It is.
We appreciate you.
Thank you all for being here and for joining us and reminding us what it really means to lead with heart. All right. If you want to learn more or get involved, you can visit theresidencyseattle.org, linking it in the show notes. And if you're in Seattle this November, November 20th, please come celebrate 10 years of making music and art matter. That is it for this episode of Beats Working. If you've got an idea or you want to reach out, just email us at info@beatsworking.show. Remember that every detail matters, every moment counts, and no matter what, the show must go on.
Thanks for listening to Beats Working, Winning the Game of Events, where we explore what it takes to make moments unforgettable.
If you're leaving with a little more inspiration, a little more perspective, and a big side ache from all of the laughing at our funny jokes, then we've done our job.
Beats Working is a Work P2P production. If you've enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review us on your favorite podcast platforms.
Your support helps us keep the magic going.